Yo, hello ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching this. We're back into another weekly markup. But before we get into the weekly markup, I wanted to go over. Oh shit, logged me out. Remember, if you go back to the last video, I had uploaded the account balance was at 100 and 120. Look at where it's at right now. 20 bucks. I blew way over half of the account in like 2 days of trading. This month was going amazing. Look at this. I was trading every other day, once a day, even if it was a loss or a win, and the losses were minus 5 pips, minus 5 pips, 60 pips, 50 pips, 60 pips, and it wasn't until the 23rd or the 23rd when I started, which was the GU shorts, which we start going back in time. GU shorts on the 23rd. Here they were. So actually, this was still a good risk. It was still 0.3. And then I believed I went in again. GBPUSD sell. So this was a re-entry. Close fully minus 31 pips before I saw them. So it was a re-entry, and it was a full stop loss hit. I should have never even re-entered that trade, right? But then on the 24th, the day after, I started upping the risk. So the next trade after that was USDCAD, and I popped a 0.9, and this was so USDCAD sold, and then I closed right away. For some reason, when the entry is a sell, but then you close, and then it says that you bought, which that's not, I guess, to the counter it, but that's that meaning it obviously says right there it's closing, and that was a loss. Closed fully at 5 pips, and then this day I just started going ham. I started upping the risk, and obviously every trade was a loss after. Yes, actually it was. So this was a USDCAD. I was the full stop loss from GBPUSD, and then I actually had a profitable trade, positive 15 pips. So risk free at GJ. So this should be GJ. Yup, it's GJ. And I actually upped the risk on this trade too, which was only, look at this, 15 pips, right? But it made back with a loss because of the risk of the position sizing. But then also I secured an entry, and then price came back and stopped me out, and then I started upping the risk here. So here, after popping a 0.18, I should have gone back to 0.3s, because I was only risking 0.3s, because let's say the stop loss is 30-40 pips on a 0.3, that is 4, 8, 12, at like 15 bucks, right? So that's what, if it were to hit full stop loss, I'd be losing around 15 to 18 bucks if I'm risking a 0.3 at 40 pips, right? But if my stop loss is smaller, I could up the risk. But when my stop loss is still 40-30 pips, I cannot be upping my risk to 0.18s, and this is what ended up happening. Look, I took my first big loss, which was a 0.18 lot at GG. Damn, and it was GG as well. And I remember this trade because it was this one. Too much risk. I even wrote it down. Bad entry. And it was back-to-back GG losses. Look at this. And that's what brought me to, look at this. This was like damn near 70 bucks right here, and just all GJ. And then I went again heavy on this was all one position. Oh no, I went on sold 0.6 on USDJ. This was a really good trade as well. USDJPY. This was on Thursday, and this was the last 2 trades that I took, and that trade had brought me back, which was this was a really good trade after that losing streak. I took this one trade after this was on the 26th, so the 23, 24, 25 were all bad trading days. When this was the first trading day I had good, right, which was on Thursday. Risk 20 pips to make 112, caught 55 pips, and then I closed fully, which was wrong because price ended up dropping. And then the last trade that I took were these USDCAD buys on Friday, which the account was up. The account was like $50 for almost at $50, like $47 after all the GJ stuff, right? But then on Friday, for some reason, I decided to trade, and I know I shouldn't have. At least I should have gotten in shorts, but I was looking at this right here. I was looking. This was actually a buy limit trade. I should have never even set. I should have just waited for the market, and I should have just waited for price to set up and for me to enter it manually, right? But I had set a buy limit right here. I literally thought that price was gonna come back, stop out these buyers, leave this low here. That's why I set my stop loss even here, and then I raised my stop loss. No, actually no. This was the low that I was looking at right here for price to come back and test, and price to come back up to the, like, it could possibly test and come back up. Obviously it didn't. It hit full stop loss, and I got effed on a Friday, bro. Literally, when I could have literally, if I would have just looked in that price action, look at this. This move was strong, right? Previous area of demand tested. It was strong. It was a strong push, but it did not break above the previous push. So meaning that it's getting weaker. And look at it. Price came back and tested it one more time, and this is where I was looking for the stupid buys. Look, it created another lower high. I should have already been looking for sells. And then the last trade that I took, which was actually a scalp, which was actually pretty good. It was on the 5-minute. We had a bottom of the range and the top of the range, and we had an impulse of within the range test, but price ranged for a little too much, and I got out minus 4 pips, and price boom went all the way to target, which is insane. That was the last trade that I took. As you can see, those USDCAD trades. Now my mind to getting this account back because it's not blown. And literally I was just there at this balance account. I was just at this balance account, and then I had made back the UJ trade, and it was up at $47, and now I just lost it again, right? But I know if I literally have turned a $5 account into $80, and I have turned $80 into $460 in like 2 days, right? But that's flipping. Right now I'm trading, but when you're upping the risk, you have to be really careful, because you could get lucky. This could have easily been plus $25, right? And then I could up the risk more. But I gotta up the risk every time you hit. Like, for example, you take the $100 account to 200. Instead of risking $10 per trade, you can now risk $20 per trade, and so on and so forth. But you have to do this correctly, right? And since that account is not blown, we get to do it over again before obviously having to shave my head. And you can see this clearly, bro. This was straight south. I mean, on the weekly markup, we could already get into it. Let me even do the weekly markup first on USDCAD. So here it is, USDCAD. You can pause it and read it. Monthly bearish, weekly bearish, daily bearish, H4H1 bearish. So on the monthly, price failed to keep on breaking highs above 146, as you can see. And then we have a bearish engulfing candle below 139 and a lower high below 139. And we're currently respecting above 135,500, but we're still overall bearish. On the weekly, bearish engulfing candle, and we have a lower high below 139, and we're also rejecting above 135,500, but it's still overall looking very bearish. And we actually broke some structure here, and this is looking like, on the daily it was looking like it was going to flip bullish, but it respected this previous area of supply right here, and it failed to break above that zone, and I was looking like it was gonna make back its way down to 135,500. And we can zoom in a little bit on the daily. You can see the daily supply zone respected perfectly. What I was looking for was, this was a strong push, this was a weaker push, and then this was gonna be similar to a, wait, but that move could actually still happen. What am I seeing? Literally something like this. This will still be a higher low, and price can create maybe the higher low here at the retest, and now it will make it so that the push is now making it, the sellers weaker, because every time is coming back down after testing the supply zone, we'll be creating higher lows until we break it and continue all the way back up to 139. But right now we're still bearish on the daily. Right, we have to actually wait for price to do that. Right now it's clearly bearish. Let's hop into the 4 hour. In the 4 hour you can see the clear supply zone respected, and then this is where I was taking the buys. Right, I thought price was gonna come back and just clear, obviously, because I knew there was stop losses below, but I thought we were gonna come stop them out, and then maybe, you know how people obviously getting sales right below after the zone. That's what I should have done. Just look at price action. Just wait for the candle to close and wait for the price action and get in on your entry. But this is on the 4 hour. Huge bearish engulfing candle. And obviously you can see the support was getting weaker. Strong push, weaker push, even weaker push, and then boom, we broke. I'm just kind of annoyed because I get into these trades all the time. I don't know why I set a buy limit. This was clear sales below 36 pips. But what we could happen now is get a retest into the zone, so you could possibly get a continuation back to 135,500. Now let's get into NZDCAD. You can pause it and read it. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish, turning bearish, daily bearish, H4, H1 bearish. So I guess it's kind of consolidating with USDCAD. So from the monthly, you want to start from the monthly always. We were bearish, and now we're turning bullish. Price failed to keep on breaking lows below 0.78,500. Then we have a monthly bullish engulfing candle above 0.80 and above 0.81,500. And right now we're rejecting below 0.82,500. On the weekly, we're bullish turning bearish because obviously we have a bullish engulfing candle and we have higher lows above 0.81,500, which has previously been a strong area of supply. Turned into new demand over here, but we're also rejecting below 0.82,500. Right, we're kind of ranging between 0.82,500 and 0.81,500, and this is a price range of 100 pips. So you could potentially sell from here to here and then buy from here to here and catch 100 pips on every move. On the daily, we are bearish. We have a lower high below 0.82,100, huge bearish engulfing candle, and also the support is already looking kind of weak. Why is it looking weak? Because obviously the first push was strong, the second push was not as strong as the first push, and then this third push looks like it's not even gonna break this, so it's making it weaker every test, right? The same thing that we just talked about on the USDCAD. Now we might get the sales here, the ones that we missed on USDCAD. Look, now this move might happen, and if it doesn't happen, guess what? Then we're just gonna break below and continue back above. That's literally all that could happen. So now we just have to wait. We got into a 4 hour. The 4 hour is still bearish. I wouldn't say that we're bullish till we break above here, or maybe we create a higher low here, but I still do see price melting into 0.81,500 and potentially giving us an entry. USDJPY, you can pause it and read it. Monthly bullish turning bearish, weekly bearish turning bullish, daily bullish, each first one bullish. UJ, and any USD pair is gonna start getting crazy because of the the whole thing going on right now. So we're overall bullish, higher low above 125, support above 140, bullish engulfing candle above 151. Prices, and then we're failing to break highs because prices, well, we're turning bearish, my mistake, because price is failing to break highs above 158,500. So we hop into the weekly. On the weekly, we could already see a lower high and a bearish engulfing candle below 158,500, and it was looking like it's gonna continue melting to 151. But now look, we hop into the daily. On the daily, you can see this previous area of supply here, which is at 153. Previous area of supply and demand. Supply turned into new demand. It got respected over here. Huge bullish engulfing candle above, and it flew. And then respected a previous zone over here, turned that into supply, came back and respected it over here, created a higher low, another bullish engulfing candle, and it flew. So now it looks like it's probably going to continue all the way up to 158,500. And now on the 4 hour, we have another minor zone, right? It's still bullish, but we have a zone right here, previous area supply, turn into new demand. You see, literally the market is a fractal. The same moves that happen on the monthly, like for price action wise, that the same moves happen on the daily, the weekly. The market is literally a fractal. Previous area supply, new demand. Now price looks like it's gonna come back and retest this zone. So what is gonna happen? Is it gonna give us a demand zone again, or we're gonna break below it and continue to the bottom and turn into supply again? All we have to do is just wait. Actually, let me send an alert here, because this will be a good entry right here. And off of either zone, look at this. TP for the buys, TP1 would be, well, actually TP1, I would TP1 right here, right, which would be 100 pips, but main TP would be at 158. And then TP1 for the sellers, I would TP1 here, right? So you have your bottom of the range and you have your top of the range within the 1 hour time frame, within the 4 hour time frame, because obviously this would be a 4 hour trade. You would obviously still need to get into the 15-minute and wait for your entries, and you would still need to, for example, if you're gonna buy here, you still need to see some higher lows and some bullish reaction. If you're gonna sell, you need to wait for your bearish engulfing candle and your lower high, and then you enter into the trade. That's what I'm saying. We have to wait for this setup, but this is a really, really good setup because there's active buyers here and there's active sellers here, right? So we just have to wait for this area supply and demand. Let's get into GJ. Pause it and read it. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish, H4, H1 bullish, turning bearish. Oh shoot, GJ. So let's hop into the monthly. The monthly, overall bullish, really, really strong bullish. Bullish engulfing candle, higher low, bullish engulfing candle, and a higher low above 180. Bullish engulfing candle and a higher low above 195. Huge bullish engulfing candle above 199, and we have a huge bullish engulfing candle above 208, and what's looking like it's going to be a huge higher low above 208. Now we're looking like we're rejecting above it already. So this month looks like it's going to not close like this. Maybe we might close all the way up here, and maybe even a bullish engulf this wick right here. So on the weekly, we're still bullish. I would not say we're bearish till we break below 208, right? Because previous area of supply is looking like it's turning into a new area of demand. It's not looking like it's turning into supply again, right? What is it indicating? A higher low above a previous high, continuing the bullish momentum. Even though we do have a huge pullback, right? Huge bearish engulfing candle on the weekly, but that was just a pullback. That's all it was, a higher low, to create that higher low. Now let's hop into the daily. On the daily, huge bullish engulfing candle. Price came, well, not only is also a huge bullish engulfing candle, but it's also a previous area of demand. Price came and tested it, which happens to be right above 208, and then boom, have the huge push back to the upside. Right now we are respecting below this previous area of demand, turning into new supply. We're looking down on my my notes, which this one is on. That's why the H4 and H1 is bullish turning bearish, because it will hop onto the H4. You can see nice strong previous area of demand. Well, not really strong because it didn't break highs, but it said area of demand, gave us a retest, right, and turn it into new supply. H4 bearish engulfing candle, some lower highs, and we already hit. This would have been target 1 right here. Overall target, if you're in these cells right here, would be 208, because price can, this would have been target 1 because price can reverse now here. You can see, because this is as well another previous area of demand. I'm telling you, the market is a fractal, and now price can come back to stop out these guys, meaning now that this zone will now be weaker, because this push off of this zone was only this strong. So now the next if we do come back up to this zone, we're only going to be creating another higher low, also signaling the bullish momentum. But we do have to wait now for what price does. Maybe we could get a potential entry here, right? Or if it breaks below, we already know that it's going to continue selling to 208, and then maybe we can get a potential entry at 208. So maybe we could get an entry at 2012 or at 208. So that was already the 4 hour. Now last but not least, let's get into GBPUSD. You can pause it and read it. Monthly bullish turning bearish, weekly bearish, daily bearish, H4, H1 bearish. GBPUSD. You always want to start from your monthly bullish engulfing candle and higher low, monthly bullish engulfing candle and higher low above 121, and then we have a monthly bullish engulfing candle above 132 and above 134, and then we're rejecting below 137,500. Oh shoot, somebody's popping up the freaking. Alright, we're back. So I'm just turning off the things. Price rejecting below 137,500. That's why this is still what is turning bearish, because price could create a higher low above this, above 134, and continue to the upside. And then on the weekly, oh man, hold up, I just realized I'm offline. I wonder if I could turn my hotspot on but I'm recording right now, so I can't. Obviously somebody was fucking with the electrical panel, right, and turning off the switches on and off, and that's what caused this shit. Man, I didn't want to cut off the video. Let's see if we could be back right now for a bit. On the monthly we're bullish turning bearish, on the weekly we're bearish, on the daily we're bearish, on the H4 H1 we're bearish. Alright, we're back. Let me refresh this. What? Man. Alright, we're back. Man, so it literally sucks that I had to freaking cut it into a new video. Alright, so monthly bullish turning bearish, weekly bearish, daily bearish, H4 H1 bearish. So we had already gone over the monthly, but price is fading to break above 137,500. But we're still overall bullish because price is still above 134. Previous area of strong supply, and we have a bullish engulfing candle above it. We hop into the weekly. Price is now turning. Well, that's when the monthly was bullish turning bearish, and now the weekly is bearish because price is failing to break above 137,500. Well, not failing, it already did. And we also created a lower high and a bearish engulfing candle below it on the weekly. So now we hop into the daily. You can already see the daily is fully bearish. Bearish engulfing candle and a lower high below it. Lower high as well. This previous area of supply got tested, or this lower high got tested and created a double bottom and continued. This would have been a great entry right here off this pullback. TP1, boom, melted, and you're still in the trade. Now price is looking like it's gonna be on its way to 134, and potentially at 134 we could potentially have an entry. Something like this, testing previous area of demand. And maybe this move right here could happen, something like this. Higher low above, or we break below it. Bearish engulfing candle, lower high, and the next target would be 132. I'll have to just wait now, literally. But then as well, this is liquidity being created, and then we do have the previous area of demand turning into a double bottom right here, as you can see, or a little support as well. Previous area of demand turning to new demand over here, being respected. And then the next one right here, that this is going to be hit, is going to be hitting, it's obviously this zone right here. So maybe off of this previous area of supply, we could have a trade on the 1 hour. I'm telling you, this is a market is a fractal, because the same things that happen on the higher time frames happen in the smaller time frame. It's just you have to take your levels are smaller, but it's technically the same analysis. We just have to wait. But the main targets are obviously off of the higher time frames. For example, like 134, 137, 500, 132, big moves like that, right? These are smaller moves. Obviously, this move would be, these shorts to TP1 would be 50 pips. These longs to TP1 would be 70 pips. But for example, now these shorts over here to TP to main TP will be 180 pips. And obviously for the potential buys, if it does come back up here, we could potentially be seeing 300 pips, right? 350, 350-ish. So this is why key levels matter, but also you have to be watching out price action. Now we're back to work. Peace and love. I command you health, wealth, knowledge, wisdom for you and your entire family.